4 days of advanced voting now over, and voting day less than a week away. We are 6 days away from April the 28th, but there are still time for you to ask questions and still time for our fact-checking team to answer those questions. And look who is with us again this morning, Jonathan Gatehouse. Great to see you again.
Good morning.
Responding to questions like this one from Jack Adams. And Jack, thank you. It's interesting timing. I was just talking about payments going out today as far as the carbon tax rebate. And Jack wonders, will the carbon tax be reinstated? What did you found, Jonathan, on that?
Well, Mark Carney's very first act as Prime Minister was to remove the tax, and Pierre Poilievre has been promising to axe the carbon tax for years now. So if we judge by the two front-running parties, it's highly unlikely to return, although any government has that power to pass a law and bring it back. Mark Carney has promised to replace it with a series of incentives to encourage Canadians to take green steps, things like buying more energy-efficient appliances. But he's also going to continue to make large-scale industrial emitters pay. Pierre Poilievre, for his part, he's vowing to eliminate the carbon tax for both consumers and for industry. He says that provinces under his plan would still be free to do whatever they want in terms of trying to regulate emissions, but there would be no federal requirement to do so. And he's also promising to boost tax incentives for clean tech for industry.
Another question, this is from Bruce Snyder in Ottawa, still thinking about the debates last week, and in particular the controversy before the French language debate when the Green Party co-leader was, his invitation was rescinded. And Bruce is wondering about that still. If the Green Party is no longer allowed to participate in the federal leaders debate because the party isn't running enough candidates in enough ridings, wondering why the Bloc Québécois is allowed to participate because the Bloc runs candidates only in Quebec. Jonathan.
Well, you're right. We got lots of questions about this. And as you mentioned, the Leaders Debate Commission, which is the independent body that organizes the English and the French debates, they disinvited the Green Party, saying they failed to meet participation requirements. Now, just to recap those requirements, a party must hit 2 of 3 benchmarks. The first being that they must have at least 1 elected and sitting MP. The second is that they're at least 4% support nationally in the opinion polls. The third, as you mentioned, is that they have to be running candidates in at least 90% of the ridings. So the Greens had the MPs, but not the support in the opinion polls. Initially, they had indicated they were going to run candidates in all 343 ridings. In the end, they decided to run in 232 ridings. That's just 67% of ridings. Now, the Bloc has 33 MPs, as you mentioned, only in Quebec, in the 78 ridings in Quebec. But their opinion poll support, in Quebec is at 24%, and that translates to 5.5% or more nationally. So they hit 2 of the 3 benchmarks, and that's why they were on the debate stage.
All right. People still perhaps reflecting on what they learned over those 2 nights of debating and some of the ongoing questions. We'll see whether the debate messages had any impact come voting day. There is a question, certainly on the debates, there was a section on security threats for Canada, and Dwight Olson wants to know about one of them. Has the crime rate in Canada increased significantly over the last 10 years? The Conservative Party of Canada says this every day. What is the truth?
So, crime stats are complicated is the first thing. I mean, the overall crime rate, as measured by the Crime Severity Index, which is prepared by Stats Canada, it was in steep decline between 1998 and 2014. It fell by almost half. Since then, it's seen a gradual increase, 2% for 2023, which is the last available year of data. But it's still far below historic levels. Now, that index captures both violent and non-violent crime. And the level of violent crime has also risen gradually since 2014. It's now back to 2007 levels. Although StatsCan says that a lot of the overall increase can be attributed to less serious crimes, things like auto theft and shoplifting, drug offenses, property crimes. So the Conservatives are very focused on crime in their campaign, and some of the numbers that they are citing are in fact true. Gang-related homicides are up 78%. Gun crime is up 116%. But that's since 2015, which was the historic low point, the 8 years since. And those are outliers compared to the overall crime rate.
Jonathan, thank you. Important fact-checking there. Thank you for the questions.